Hello dear students. Today we are going to learn about classification of plants. In previous class we already studied that the classification of living organism, that is five kingdom classification, which is proposed by scientist Robert Whittaker. In that classification, living organisms we are divided into prokaryotics and eukaryotics. In prokaryotics, that is kingdom Monera, and in eukaryotics, unicellular kingdom Protista, and in multicellular, that is with cell wall and without cell wall. In that with cell wall, there are two different classes, that is autotrophic plants and heterotrophic fungi. Also in multicellular organisms without cell wall, there are animalia. So Monera, Protista, Plantae, fungi and animalia, these are the five kingdoms we already studied in five kingdom classification of Robert Whittaker's classification. So in this class we have to learn about the kingdom Plantae. How the kingdom plants are classified and what are the different divisions and classes of the plants we have to study in this chapter. What is kingdom Plantae? The group of autotrophic living organisms having eukaryotic cells with cell walls is the group of plants. The group of autotrophic living organisms having eukaryotic cells with cell walls is the group of plants. Plants have become autotrophic as they can perform photosynthesis with the help of chlorophyll. Living organisms of kingdom Plantae are the main source of food for all other living organisms. So, for basic classification of these kingdom Plantae, there are certain criteria we have to use. Out of them, the presence or absence of separate conducting tissues for conduction of water and food. This is the first criteria we have to see, either conductive tissues are there or no. On that basis, we have to classify the plants. Depending upon the absence or presence of flowers, fruits and seeds, plants are classified as cryptogams and phanerogams. Next, depending upon whether seeds are enclosed within a fruit or not, phanerogams are also classified as a gymnosperm and angiosperm. And then angiosperms are further classified as monocots or dicots depending upon the number of cotyledons in the seed. So these are the major criteria we have to use to classify the plants. That kingdom Plantae are divided into two subkingdoms, that is cryptogams and phanerogams. Cryptogams are then divided into three divisions, that is I-Thallophyta, I-Bryophyta, I-Pteridophyta. And phanerogams are divided into two divisions, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms. And angiosperms further divided into dicotyledons and monocotyledons. So this is the classification of kingdom Plantae. We have to see the different characteristics of different divisions and class of the plants. First, we will see the characteristics of the kingdom, subkingdom cryptogams. Crypto means hidden and gams means a reproductive organ. Plants whose reproductive organs are hidden, those are known as cryptogams. All these plants reproduce by spore formation. They are called cryptogams as their reproductive organs cannot be seen. Cryptogams are divided into three divisions, that is division Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. We'll see about division first, that is Thallophyta. These plants grow mainly in water. This group of plants which do not have specific part like root, stem, leaves, flowers but are autotrophic due to the presence of chlorophyll. Some of these are found in fresh water while some are in saline water. Algae, the great diversity, those are the sum of thallophytes. They may be unicellular or multicellular and microscopic or large. So the group of algae are included in this thallophytes. Example of these algae which are present in thallophytes, for example, Spirogyra, Ulothrix, Ulva, Sargassum. These are the some examples of algae which are included in thallophytes. Usually have a soft and fibrous like body of these various types of fungi. Those are also included in this division Thallophyta, which do not have chlorophyll, but those are included in this thallophyte. These are the some examples of thallophyte divisions, that is Spirogyra, Ulva or Chara. The next division, Bryophyta. This group of plant is called the amphibians of plant kingdom because they grow in moist oil. They grow in moist soil but need water for reproduction. Means these plants grows in moist soil but after that they need water for reproduction. That's why they uses a land or soil or also water, and because of that those plants are known as amphibians. These plants are thalloid, multicellular and autotrophic. The body structure is thallus-like, thalloid, maybe multicellular and autotrophic. They prepare their food by own with the help of chlorophyll, and the body is made up of multi cells, different types of cells. That's why those are known as multicellular. The structure of the plant body of bryophytes is flat, ribbon like long with true roots, stem and leaves. Instead of they have stem like or leaf like part and root-like rhizoids. Instead of they have stem like or leaf-like parts and root-like rhizoids. They do not have specific tissue for conduction of food and water. They reproduce by spore formation. Example of bryophytes: moss, that is Funaria, Merkensia, Anthoceros, Rixia. These are the some examples of bryophytes. We'll see all these examples in this diagram. There is Funaria, Merkensia, Anthoceros. So these are the examples of bryophytes. Then division pteridophytes. They do not bear flowers and fruits, but somewhat well developed structure of body is there in these pteridophytes. Plants from this group have well developed roots, stem and leaves and separate tissues for conduction of food and water. Means compared to bryophyte and thallophytes, the pteridophyta plants are somewhat well developed. They reproduce with the help of spores formed along the back or posterior surface of their leaves. Examples of these pteridophytes are fern, Selaginella, Lycopodium. So these are the some examples of this pteridophytes. Also Pteris, Odontum, Equisetum. These are also the examples of pteridophyte divisions. These plants reproduce asexually by spore formation and sexually by zygote formation. They have a well developed conducting tissues. So these are the some characteristics of these pteridophyta. Then we'll see about phanerogams. Phanerogams. Plants which have special structure for reproduction and produce seeds are called phanerogams. In these plants, after the process of reproduction, seeds are formed which contain the embryo and stored food. During germination of seed, the stored food is used for the initial growth of the embryo, depending upon whether seeds are enclosed in a fruit or not. Phanerogams are classified into gymnosperms and angiosperms. Then we see about division gymnosperms. Gymno means naked and sperms mean seeds. The plants whose seeds are naked, that is known as gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are mostly evergreen, perennial and woody. Their stems are without branches. The leaves form a crown. These plants bear male and female flowers on different sporophytes of the same plant. Seeds of these plants do not have natural coverings. That is, these plants do not form fruits and are therefore called gymnosperms, that is, naked seeds. Examples of the gymnosperms, it is cycas, piscia, that is Christmas tree, thuja, that is moorpankhi, pinus, that is deodar. So these are the some examples of the gymnosperms. We'll see the naked seeds in this diagram and cycas tree. Then we'll see about division angiosperm. Angio means cover and sperms means seed. Plants whose seeds are with cover, those are known as angiosperms. The flowers this plant bear are their reproductive organs. Flowers develop into fruits and seeds are formed within the fruits. Thus, these seeds are covered. Hence, they are called angiosperms. Whether the seeds are divided into two equal halves or not, they are classified into two groups. That is, angiosperms are further classified into monocots or dicots, depending upon the number of cotyledons in seed. What is the difference between dicotyledons plants and monocotyledons plant? The dicotyledonous plants having two cotyledons in their seed, while in monocotyledons a single cotyledon is present in a seed. A root of the dicotyledon plants is well developed, but primary root, that is tap root, is present in dicotyledon plants. But in monocotyledon plant, the roots are fibrous. The stem of the dicotyledonous plant is strong and hard. For example, if you see the stem of banyan tree, you'll get idea about the strong and hard stem. In case of monocotyledonous plant, the stem is either hollow, as like in bamboo, or false, as like in banana, or disc-like, that is we can see in onion. So these are the different types of stems in monocotyledonous. But in dicotyledonous, that stem is strong and hard. Leaf of the dicotyledonous plant is a reticulate venation, shows a reticulate venation. But in monocotyledonous plant, the venation in the leaves is parallel. Flowers in dicotyledonous plants with 4 or 5 parts or in their multiples, that is tetramerous or pentamerous. These types of flowers are present in dicotyledonous plants. But in monocotyledonous,